What are you saying, people? Here is my video on where I think Arsenal will finish in the Premier League 25-26 season. Yes, this is my video on the Premier League predictions. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about Arsenal, right? But I want to talk about who I think will actually finish from 8th till winners, including Arsenal, right? So it's going to surprise a couple people, but here we go, right? So I'm going to go, and I did 8th because the Premier League, can I just say, the Premier League is going to be so competitive this season. Like this whole stuff about top four, well, the top four will be very, very competitive, right? The four after the top four, that will also be competitive in its own sense. I don't expect it to be anything like last season with your Nottingham Forests and stuff. I'm probably giving it away. Your Nottingham Forests and stuff punching above their weight, plucky, and Fulham. I think, like Bournemouth as well. I think, yeah, I genuinely believe the top teams are gonna rinse. They're gonna rinse this league this season. Because we're going back to the Premier League of old, man. You know, we're taking players from where the top teams are taking players from the best teams. Well, best performing players from the teams lower than them. Delap is an example. João Pedro is an example. Mbuemo is an example. Cunha is an example. Norgard is an example. Kudus is an example. Yeah, there's a lot more examples, right? But yeah, I don't expect the likes of Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest to be there. So let's go with 8th. 8th, I'm actually going to put Aston Villa. I think, yeah, like PSR is doing a number on them. It's doing a madness because a team that's playing in Europa League, which is just long. Like Europa League is long. Champions League is long, but Europa League is long. You need a squad for that. Villa right now don't have a squad for that. You know, of course they bought in Evan, is it Gesond or Gesond? He's meant to be decent. He's meant to be good, supposedly. They bought in that keeper Bizot, but I'm looking at Aston Villa. Villa need numbers. Obviously Jacob Ramsey as well. Supposedly he's going Newcastle. That's a good signing for Newcastle. Yeah, I'm looking at Villa. They need more. They've got a good team, good manager in Unai Emery. Their team is better than most. That being said, though, I can't trust this squad over a whole season playing in those competitions to have a crack at the Champions League. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. So I'm going to go with them 8th. 7th, I'm actually going to go Newcastle. I have to go there because I don't care what anyone tells me. Buy Jacob Ramsey. Buy Nicholas Jackson, who will be a good signing for Newcastle, by the way. Buy them. Not having Isak is a massive blow. And obviously reports are saying that he has zero plans to integrate himself back into the team, that he's adamant he wants to leave, he wants to go to Liverpool. We know Liverpool are probably going to bid for him again. Yeah, so Newcastle are between a rock and a hard place. Because on one hand, you sell him, but then you strengthen Liverpool. You sell him to I'm not even going to go rival. You just sell him to the Premier League. You lose your top gunman. You lose your top gunman at the start of the season. It's techie, but then at the same time you keep him. You don't sell him. You've got a player that doesn't want to play for you. You've got a player whose head's gone. You've got a player who's prepared to go on strike. You've got a player who's prepared to go to war with your club. Now, having had this experience with Alexis Sanchez, it's just not good. It's terrible, right? And I think that's going to be a massive blow for Newcastle. Yeah, they made some decent signings. Elanga's a good signing. He's better than Jacob Murphy, so that's an upgrade. Who else have they bought? They bought this centre-back, Malik Thiaw, or whatever his name is, the guy from AC Milan. Let's see. He's meant to be good. That could be a shrewd signing. But no Isak. I just can't look past that. And for me, they need another creative signing in midfield. Jacob Ramsey, okay, cool, you're buying him, but Is Jacob Ramsey, is that really someone that's going to do the business? I don't know. Does Jacob Ramsey, he doesn't move me. Like, this is a team that's going to be playing in the Champions League, right? Jacob Ramsey is a decent player, but he doesn't really move me. So I'm not sure. I don't know. And I think playing the Champions League again, we saw what it was like when they were there 2 seasons ago and how much of a hit it was in their squad. And obviously, they're trying to build their squad. They've kept their most of their key players, but this Isak one, I can't look past that. And because of that reason, his goals, man, not having his goals in the team it's an ultimate downgrade. That's a downgrade. I don't care who they bring in. It will be a downgrade on. It's going to be a downgrade on performance and a downgrade on output and a downgrade ultimately on where they finish. So I'm going to go with 7th for Newcastle. 6th is surprising, but I'm going to go with Man United to finish in 6th. I'm going to go with United. Right? Why? Like, contrary to public belief, I still believe Amorim is a good coach. I still believe he's a good coach that took a toxic job at the worst possible time, right? But obviously he didn't think that he thought, okay, it's now or never. So good on him. He had the cojones to take on the job when he did. Obviously they were absolutely pathetic last season, put in one of the worst performances ever seen in the Premier League by a big club, because they are a big club. They're still one of the biggest clubs in the world. But I think in the same way, I said this in the 21-22 season for Arsenal, when we nearly finished 4th. We ended up finishing 5th, right? I personally believe that United not having any Europe is going to be such a massive advantage. It's a huge advantage. Whether teams like to accept that or not, that's a massive, massive advantage, right? Because Amorim, it's all about him being able to transfer his ideas to the team. Not only has he had a full pre-season with them, but my man is going to have so much time during the season to train, so much time for his players to also rest as well, to be able to get up to speed with the intensity of how he wants to play. And you're already kind of seeing it. Not that but I'm curious. I'm looking at all teams in pre-season, and United, they look fitter. Like, their players physically look stronger. They look fitter. So you just know having that extra time, it's gonna do any team the world of good. Especially a team that has a good coach in Amorim. And obviously their new attacking signings give them a boost as well. I think Cunha, I think Mbuemo, I think Sesko, you're adding instant technical ability to an attack that had zero technical ability. You had Xerxes that had some, but Højlund is just a battering ram. Doesn't really take care of the ball. Garnacho doesn't really take care of the ball. Probably the player that had the most tech for United offensively last season was Bruno. What players were Bruno and Ahmad, which tells you all you need to know. But now you've got ballers who can one-touch passing around the corner, and when with players who are already thinking about what they're going to do before they get the ball. So, yeah, I think all of these put together, it gives Man United a really, really good chance to get back into European spots. So I'm going to go with them with 6th. 5th is going to surprise you, but I'm going with Tottenham for 5th. I cannot stand them. I can't stand my brother. I can't stand the fact that this team have a trophy. And I'm seeing videos for promos for the FCM pod with Fuad when the Europa League winners. I can't stand that. Really can't stand it. Right? But why am I putting Spurs 5th? 2 words. Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank. Anyone who knows me and has watched any of my videos, I've never liked playing Brentford. Why? Not they have the best players, because I don't like playing against Thomas Frank. The guy is just he's a very good coach. He's literally the definition of someone who can get like a shirt with water and squeeze every drop. That's what the guy does, man. No matter who you give him. And the thing is, whether we like to admit it or not, Spurs have a decent squad. They do. Romero and Van der Ven, they're good players. Porro on his day offensively is a decent player. Defensively, probably not that. Jed Spence is a decent player. Bergvall, he's a good prospect. You know, he's a good prospect. Richarlison is a bit air. Solanke is a decent player. He just needs to stay fit. Johnson is an efficient player. He's kind of basic, but you've got Kudus, quality. You lose Son. Obviously, Maddison is injured. Bentancur, he's a decent player. Paulinho, that's a good player. Good player to have in the middle of the park. He's definitely going to do a lot better for them than Basuma. So Spurs, so Frank is working with a much better squad, right? So, and obviously Kulusevski as well, good player. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think Thomas Frank, I can see him doing well with Tottenham. And of course, I mean, look at what he was able to do. Look at how they played against PSG. They held their own against PSG, guys. Yeah, they bottled it. We can say Spursy. It was Spursy. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that they win. They didn't win a trophy yesterday. They're going back to their usual self, their Spursy mentality. But if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm coming out of that obviously annoyed, but at the same time thinking, okay, cool. We may have something here because we're missing Son, we're missing Maddison, we're missing a couple players, but we were able to go hold our own against PSG. Like I said, of course, football's a results business. You can't just get gassed over the performance. The team needs to deliver, which is the case with Arsenal, who I'll get to soon. But, yeah, I think Spurs, obviously, we know that they're trying to get Eze. It's between them and Arsenal. I really hope they don't get Eze. I'll be fuming if they get Eze and we don't buy him. But I think if Spurs get him, if Spurs just get a playmaker, and by playmaker, I mean someone in the middle of the park that can play alongside a Paulinho, that can dictate play, set the tempo, probe with passing, keep the ball, be neat, get the team moving and playing. And if they can get that and they can get a Maddison replacement and they get a good Son replacement, bruh, of course they got Matisse Tell, for me, he's a good prospect. He just needs confidence and minutes, right? Then, boy, I don't know. But I'm going to go with Spurs for 5th. Now, 4th. Who am I putting in 4th? Man City. Yes. I believe Man City will finish 4th. I think offensively, City look better. I see in pre-season they're not really doing the whole 4 centre-back thing anymore. They're playing right. They bought Ryan Aït-Nouri, good signing. They're playing, what's his name? Mateus Nunes as the other right back. These are... So they're going back to their old Man City in terms of the fullbacks, giving them loads of width, and their forwards coming inside, back in the Mahrez days, the Sterling days, of Sane days, inside forwards coming inside, right? Whereas the fullback gives width. And obviously, Doku's looked decent in pre-season, as a Savinho actually. But that being said, as good as they look offensively, City, in terms of their weaknesses, they still look the same. This still looks like a team who on the trend. I know they bought Reinders, who's going to be a good player. Looks it. But I still think on the transition, you can hurt Man City. You can get at this team. I think defensively, they're still not great. I think Pep still hasn't, I could be wrong, but it's Pep Guardiola. He's always got stuff off his sleeve. But I'm looking at them and I'm like, yo, you look like you still need a fit Rodri ASAP. And obviously we heard that he got injured again. So it's going to be a while till they get him back. And even when he comes back, he's going to need maybe like 3 months to get up to full speed. Maybe 6 months, especially after the long injury he had, to get up to full speed in terms of playing. So unless you're like a superhuman like Timber, who can just get an injury like that, come back into the team and look like you've never left. So let's see. They still look shaky on the transition. And I think if that means these holes haven't really been fixed. So teams are just going to get at you the same way they got at you last season, right? So let's see. 3rd, I'm going Chelsea. Chelsea, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to sleep on them. Yes, they've spent billions. Yes, they've bought 49, 49, they made 49 signings, I believe, in the past 3 years. Something like that, which is just insane. 49 signings in the past 3 years. That is ballistic. That being said, they've got a good squad. And they got a good manager. He gets hate, but look, I put a video about it a couple months ago as the season ended. Enzo Maresca, you can't really fault him. The guy, he's done what's been expected of him in his first season. And, the guy's he's a good coach. You can see it. And he knows who he wants to work with. He's very, very clear with his team as to, this is my squad, this is not my squad. This is who I'm working with. It remains to be seen how they're going to do it, though, because you've got Esteval, Gittins. You're trying to buy Javi Simmons. You've already got Palmer. You're trying to buy Garnacho. I mean, he's basic. But you got João Pedro and then Leon Delap fighting out for the striker spot. Bruh, Enzo in midfield. Lavier in midfield. Caicedo in midfield. Bruh, this team, Cucurella, obviously Colwell getting injured. That's a huge blow. That is a huge blow. So Tosin's going to need to step up, and Hato, who they bought for good money, he's meant to be highly rated. He's going to get minutes. Don't forget, you still got Wesley Fofana, who gets loads of injuries, but if he gets up to full speed, he can be a good player for Chelsea. So, Chelsea are looking good. And I still think though, I can't see them having enough to get over the line in terms of winning a Premier League title. Chelsea got a squad that could win the Champions League. I mean, if we could get to the Champions League semi-final with playing with Marino up top, Chelsea can definitely win. Because Champions League is different to the league title. To the Premier League, sorry. So let's see. I think, and to be fair, let's be honest, I expect this. I expect Chelsea to be high, to challenge, because you spent a lot of money. You got a good manager, do it. Second, here's where the rubber hits the road. Second, I spoke to you about where I really think Arsenal will finish. Here we go. Second place is Arsenal. Yeah, as it stands right now, I can't see us getting higher than second. I think Gyökeres and Zubimendi absolutely give us an edge. I think these two signings, of course, Noni helps the squad. Norgard helps with the squad. Ethan looks a lot more comfortable in the middle of the park. He looks good. Max Dowman coming through. He looks good. Gabriel is fit now. Calafiori's fit now. Ben White is fit now. Our first choice back four, I believe that's our first choice back four, is looking fit. So it's looking good. Rice and Zubi interchange that we've seen in pre-season, how comfortable Zubi looks. Gyökeres getting a goal. Saka looks back to full fitness, looks sharp, looks good. Martinelli, less said about him, the better. So the team is looking good, but I still think we need another great attacking signing. Our starting lineup is good. I think our starting lineup will do damage, but I think we need another, not just a basic, we need another great signing. And by great signing, I mean Eze. I think it hinges on that type of signing. I think if we don't, because it's not just the quality that a guy like Eze brings you, right? The quality that we desperately need playing on that left-hand side. Not necessarily Martinelli, but I mean someone who could play the left 8, that role that Rice plays, a different option to Rice, and someone that could also play as an inside forward for Martinelli. Someone, but just more than that, someone who's just a direct runner with the ball, can beat his man in the middle of the park and find balls. Someone who, when he gets the ball, can hit a Gyökeres the same way he consistently hits Mateta. Hopefully Ødegaard can learn because he's got the ability to do that. He's going to need to keep doing that. But Eze is perfect, and it will infuriate me if we get Tottenham. I genuinely believe where we finish, first or second, it's dependent on that signing. No Eze, no title. And right now, I'm not seeing any reports that give me confidence that we're getting him. I'm seeing we're linked, there's interest, blah, blah, blah. We're seeing all this nonsense about, oh yeah, you need to make sales first and la, 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 la. Guys, listen, I've told you this. I've done said it when we bought Noni. Every time it's a player that we actually need, a player that actually comes in and actually elevates the starting XI, all of a sudden you hear this stuff. Oh, we need to sell players first. Oh, this, oh, that. We need to pull some financial levers. We need to do this, we need to do that. I didn't hear this when we were buying Noni. Why didn't we need to sell players first when we bought Noni? Why didn't we need to sell players first when we bought Havertz? Right? Here to sound like a resounding gong, saying the same thing, but I can't see us finishing past. I think our defense, we got the best defense in the league. That gives us an edge. But our offense, we need a lot more offensively. One of our key issues last season wasn't just we bought a striker, but we need a lot more chances. I feel like we're a team that needs to absolutely overwhelm teams with chance creation. We've not done this since the 22-23 season. So this is why an Eze signing is just huge. And right now, if I don't see that type of signing, I can't see us getting any higher than second and hoping for another crack at that Champions League or an FA Cup or a Carling Cup. So yeah, let's see. Or Carabao. Meaning, who I think is going to finish first? Liverpool. I can't see beyond them. They're the defending champs. Slot is a good manager. If the defensive balance can be found, it's going to be hard to stop them. Linked with Isak, if they get him, it'll make them even stronger. They're buying this 18-year-old guy, Leone. He's meant to be good from Parma. So let's see. They're in talks with Gay. I hope they don't get him, because if you get this 18-year-old defender and Gay, that's good night. And then if Slot is able to get that balance, because for me, they're a very, very nearly complete team. Verts, Kerkez, Ekitike, linked with Isak now. Obviously, you lose Diaz's goals, but bruh, this team, and I like the mentality. And of course, sad news about Diogo, but if that's me as a player, I'm playing with fire in my belly. My teammate died. I lost a friend. I'm gonna play with fire. And Liverpool, they're a club that feeds on that type of emotion, and they actually channel it to play extremely well. So let's see. I can't see beyond Liverpool at the moment. Yeah. Anyways, guys, those are my predictions. There's where I think Arsenal will really finish. There's what I think the table will look like, 1st to 8th. Let's see what the season brings. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. All the best. See ya.